When you decide to play solo queue in your day, generally doesn't matter that much, but there are a few factors that you want to consider. The primary goal is just playing whenever you're able to get in the zone the easiest, you have really high energy levels, and you know that you're actually going to be able to focus on the game, improve as best as you can. In my case, I typically play about an hour after waking up because that's usually when I'm the most alert and I feel like I'm going to be playing at my best level at that time. But for some people, it may be completely different. They may play much better at 2 a.m. right before they go to sleep. This depends on the person. If you're often getting tired in the afternoons or you have some kind of responsibilities that you need to worry about at around that time, maybe that's not the best time to queue up. If you have another option, maybe that'd be better. Of course, not everyone has the luxury though of a flexible schedule or the ability to choose different times throughout their day to play solo queue. Some people may only have one option because they have school, work, kids, whatever it may be. Or maybe even they play in a high enough elo on a server that doesn't really have the player base and they have to start considering queue times. Because if you're playing on a smaller server or a high enough elo to where your queue times are starting to get to like 10-15 minutes, for some people that really matters. Other people have more time throughout their day and it's not that big of a deal. But if you can change it from a couple games a day to 3 games a day, for some people that may actually be quite beneficial. So that's worth considering as well. Obviously, if you're playing on a big server and you're in relatively low elo, then it doesn't really matter either way. However, there are a lot of people that like to use this as cope. They'll come up with all the weirdest reasons why they don't want to play at a certain time of the day. I have heard people complain about literally every time and day of the week. All of them. DGen hours can be like roughly midnight to 4 a.m., whatever you wanted to consider. It kind of depends on time zone as well. But people will complain about DGen hours, saying that there are a whole lot of trolls, people haven't slept, lower quality games in general. And I'll talk more about that in a moment. Then others will complain about evenings because kids are home from school and they'll say that kids have less mental control or something. They'll complain about mornings because of queue times or other kinds of players playing in the mornings. And of course, with the weekends, they can use the same excuse as the evenings where all the kids aren't at school so they can play. So some people say, oh, I only play on the weekdays during school hours so there's no kids or whatever. They'll come up with whatever excuse they want to come up with for why they didn't win a game at that particular time. Whether it be weekdays, weekends, it doesn't matter. Regardless of whether there's any validity in these claims or not, it doesn't really matter. Because if you're playing better than the average player in your elo, you're going to climb anyway.